So I'm on my way home after the photo shoot, and I'm gonna respond to uh, a question that I was asked for a couple of people in during last week video that I dropped, and is which camera do I recommend for beginners to get, or which camera overall do I recommend? So I'm gonna try to respond to that. So, a lot of you guys ask me which camera should be my first purchase. To be honest, I don't have an answer for you. I think you need to build a special connection between the shooter and the camera. Um, for example, in my case, I have been using Sony the whole time since day one that I've been shooting with a professional camera. But I have also used Canon, Nikon, and Fujifilm. I think is the other brand. So I'm familiar with all those brands. But at the end of the day, I love my Sony camera. I love the settings. I love how it works. I love the tone that I see in my photos when I take the photos. So when it comes out which camera you should buy as your first camera, you need to build that connection. That's number one. Number two is trying to get the right model. Just because you want to be a photographer and you have no idea how to use a camera, that don't mean that you should go and buy the highest camera on the market. That in my opinion, I think that's wrong. I think you should start with an entry level camera and get used to the settings, get used to how to hold the camera, how to take shots, understand how to take the shots, understand how the ISO works, the aperture, the shutter speed works. So like the small details of the camera, and then you can move up, and get the highest model if you want. But I think everything should work based on levels. And then number three, uh, all depends on the budget. In my case, I started using my first camera was a Sony A55, and it was a used camera. That was my first official camera, and I learned a lot. And it was a DSLR. Even though DSLR mirrorless cameras, they don't have a lot of things different, but it was heavier, way heavier than my Sony Mark II that I have. Uh, so I started with a used camera. I understood the settings. I played around with the settings. I knew what I was doing like in 6 months after I purchased the camera. So that's my recommendation because not everyone has the same budget. And even if you have the money, I would definitely recommend to spend more money in the lenses, which still you're gonna spend more money in the lenses that in the actual body. Uh, that is like spending a lot of money in the body for the first time. Uh, so I don't want to give you a brand per se, which brand you should get, because I'm not here to tell you that. Is we have amazing brands all around the world. You have Canon, you have Sony, you have Nikon. So I don't want to pick a side, because that if I pick a side, that's gonna be another video and another conversation that I'm gonna have. But as far as my feedback, which one should be your first camera? Go around to a shop that sells cameras and hold it, play around with it, and then from there you're gonna decide which one should be your first camera. It's a long process. Don't rush. Trying to get the camera that it makes you feel confident and good about your photography. um, don't try to get a camera that somebody is that you know has just because they have the camera and you think it's cool. Think about you as a photographer so you can get at that level that you want to be with your photography, because at the end of the day, you can have the cheapest camera on the planet, but if you're confident about your photography, your photos are gonna look way better than somebody that has a $10,000 camera without, especially if you didn't know how to use it. But if you know how to use your $800 camera, trust me, you're gonna get way better shots than whoever owns the $10,000 camera. So I hope this video is helpful for those of you that ask me which camera should I buy. as my first camera. If you guys have any questions like you guys did in a previous video, you can send me a DM and we can go back and forth. If you need any extra recommendations, please let me know. And I hope to see you guys on the next one.